I've got 4 speakers this evening, and I'm just going to introduce them as they speak. Our first speaker is Gary Wilson, and Gary is a former Better Together coordinator for Edinburgh East, and he had been in Labour for a long time, and then left in disgust, and then got persuaded to come back again. So I think it's over 15 years in total or thereabouts. And he's also a former Unison employed director and still a member of Unison. And Gary's going to speak to us tonight, and this will be the first time speaking with Labour for Independence.
Absolutely.
So we'd like to welcome him, if you could give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I'm going to have to, at some stage, get over the fact that I was previously part of the Better Together campaign. What I'm going to do tonight is just really talk my personal experience and why I did what I did and why I kind of changed what I kind of believed. So really, I'm not. I've had some attacks saying that I'm a kind of politician who's trying to jump ship. I'm not a politician. I hold no political office, so that certainly was not a consideration. I still am a member of Labour East, Edinburgh East Labour Party, and I would like to tell you that I kind of beat off stiff competition for the role of Better Together coordinator, but I didn't, because nobody wanted to do it. And I think, if I'm honest, that represents a lot of kind of Labour supporters that are very uneasy with the kind of alliance between the Tories and Liberal Democrats around the Better Together campaign. So I kind of thought, okay, I'll do it, nobody else will do it. I think I was probably thinking maybe the economic arguments are stronger in terms of the Better Together campaign, because I wasn't educated at the time. So I kind of went along to some of the meetings and some of the planning meetings, and there's a couple of things that stick in my mind. One was, I remember being in a room with the Tories and Liberal Democrats and thinking, my God, these are the people that I've kind of fought against all my life, and here I am sitting in a room hobnobbing with them. I think they were serving strawberries and champagne, which is just not me if you knew me. So that was kind of the first time I felt a wee bit uncomfortable, but then I thought, it's not about that, it's about kind of the arguments. And then I also remember standing at my local train station with the really bad thing that produced this newspaper thing, talking about why we are better together. And this woman said to me, listen, that's a lot of crap. What about us, the danger of getting another Tory government? And I thought, my God, she's right. So that there was kind of a turning point, I suppose. And then I spoke to a lot of my friends who work with like homeless people, or people who are maybe in receipt of benefits, or they may be disabled, and kind of started listening to the arguments. And I suppose I started listening to my heart. So that's why I kind of decided I can't be part of this Better Together stuff anymore. I then looked into the economic arguments, because I think one of the problems that Labour for Independence and the Yes campaign has is that a very vicious press that are determined to push ridiculous stories, and I think that they've had a degree of success in scaring people. So, I mean, I looked at the Daily Mail or Express or whatever it was, and the story this time, this was a few months ago, they had a picture of a woman from the Soviet Union, from those days, standing in the snow outside a shop or bank or something, and they were saying this is what an independent Scotland will look like. And I remember thinking, what on earth has this got to do with kind of reality? I spoke to quite a few of my colleagues in the Labour Party, and I think my feeling is, I might be doing a disservice, is that a lot of them share concerns about the Better Together campaign. A lot of them have doubts. But I suppose for me, it was a bit like, I'm an open gay man and came out a long time ago, and coming out to Labour for Independence was a bit like, it felt a bit like coming out as being gay. Nobody will speak to me, everybody will hate me. And there came a point where I just thought, stuff it doesn't matter, this is what I kind of really believe. So that's why I had to do it. I was listening to Ruth Davidson, some of you might have heard her speak this week, the Tory, and she was talking to young people about the Better Together campaign. And one of the things that struck me, which I think was part of the reason, she said the UK is a liberating, exciting, free country. That's what she actually said to these young people. After she'd scared them by saying you won't be able to get your favourite television programmes, you won't be able to use your mobile phone, I don't think it was her, but I think somebody else said they'd have to take the pandas out of Edinburgh if there was independence. But anyway, she said a liberating, exciting, free country. And I thought, not for the public sector workers who, if the Tories get in again, will outlaw industrial action in the public sector. They're not going to feel they're free. Not for the people in Scotland, over 1 million, who are living in poverty. They don't feel, I'm sure they don't feel free and liberated. Not for those who are attacked because they are sick, or those who have been victims of the bedroom tax. And not exciting for the fact that the UK is the world's 6th largest economy, yet 1 in 5 people live below the poverty line. So, I mean, her words really rung hollow for me. Not for the 400,000 people in Scotland that have used their food bank. I mean, what a disgrace for a country that is as rich as we are, that people are having to queue up and get food, and then for some politicians to say it's a lifestyle choice. Yeah. So it was those things that and also, yes, the distortions in the press, the ridiculous story. I know that people in the Yes campaign have been accused of bullying people. Well, actually, these distorted stories, I think, are a form of bullying. I think what has happened is, I think my experience of people in the Yes campaign is they're much more passionate because they're fighting for something that's real and is fairer and more just. And that's why I think people get quite passionate about it. The No campaign is really, let's keep the status quo and let's stay as we are. I didn't get involved in the Labour Party to support sanctions for people on benefits or cuts to people who are disabled and stuff like that. I got involved in the Labour Party to fight against those things. So for me, it was a bit of a no-brainer, although it took some time. And I mean, yesterday, I bumped into 4 or 5 of my colleagues from my local Labour Party, and they wouldn't even speak to me. And I think the kind of tactic has been attacked, but I think the tactic is now, let's ignore them and hope they'll go away. I'm really glad that there is a part of the Labour Party that is fighting for independence, and that's why I was really pleased to get involved with Labour for Independence. So it's a very personal story. That was my decision, and that's why I kind of decided to change and get involved.